Hey everybody, this is Nathan and Marqees from the TimeRust Brain Trust. That's TimeRust.com. We're going to talk about G.I. Joe Retaliation today. We went to go see it last night. I thought it was pretty good.
Hoorah, buddy. Hoorah. That movie was freaking sweet.
Now, a lot of people are saying The Rock stole the show, but personally, I think Lady J stole the show.
She was hot.
She was beyond hot. She was smoking. But enough about our misogyny, which if you listen to our Twitch, I'm sure you're familiar with. Personally, I thought this was the best film that Hasbro has ever licensed out. And it really is. It's better than any of the Transformers movies. Easily beat G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and Crush Battleship.
Why is Battleship even in this conversation?
Because it's a movie that they licensed, so, you know, we have to talk about it. I mean, basically, it wanted to be a Transformers clone. But enough about that. Let's get into the action of it.
The movie itself was, it was pretty well done. John Chu did a great job with the stunt choreography, with his style from the Step Up movies and everything. The fight scenes just flowed beautifully. The Snake Eye, anything with Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow was just chilling.
Oh, first we gotta talk about we have to talk about Snake Eyes' new armor. How awesome was that armor?
I liked it. It was better because it didn't have the lips.
Yeah, why did he have lips? Why did he have lips? Secondly, the armor, if you ask me, looked like something out of a Metal Gear game. Did it not? A little bit?
A little bit. I would have preferred if it still would have been a mask instead of a helmet. But, you know, I'm nitpicking, so...
I mean, it was kind of... He just had basically like a cloth right here. I mean, the whole thing was... Yeah, it's a helmet with a visor and all that. It was almost like a RoboCop mask with, like, a piece of cloth over the mouth and spray painted black.
Yeah, well...
Like the new RoboCop.
Yeah. I also liked the team. The team was very different. It was Roadblock, Flint, Lady J, Snake Eyes, classic Joe characters.
Don't forget Jinx, although she's not classic.
Yeah, she's a sub character. But yeah, classic Joe characters. There's no Duke. He was in it for a little bit, but there's no Ripcord. Marlon Wayans.
Ripcord is a terrible character. Marlon Wayans was in a G.I. Joe movie acting like Marlon Wayans. I did miss Scarlet, but that's just because she's beautiful. Anyways, the action was great. All the violence made sense. The fight choreography, like we were talking about, is amazing. The stakes were really high. In a G.I. Joe movie, you can't have just, they've got the nukes. No, there's a super weapon involved, and they actually kind of poke fun at the weather control device from
the Weather Dominator, G.I. Joe.
From that classic was a 5-part
from the 5-part series from the 85 Joe Real American Heroes, the Weather Dominator. They poke fun at that. Everyone acted great. I love the realism. There was no accelerator suits. There was no black, super stealthy, we want to hide in shadow suits, except for Snake Eyes.
I say, like X-Men, the first movie.
Yeah, they were just...
Yeah, they didn't have that weird leather clad
They
thing.
were in fatigues. They were in body armor. They were in classic military gear. Real American heroes, kicking doors down, kicking people's teeth in, saving the world. Bruce Willis was hilarious.
The Rock was great. He was fantastic.
The Rock did a great job. He might have single-handedly saved this franchise.
Well, he did that with Fast and Furious, so why not with this? Because let's be honest. Rock versus Vin Diesel. That's pretty cool.
John Chu did a cool thing. We got this awesome poster because we went to Regal to see them. Let's big up the Regal, by the way. And they gave us these free poster. Awesome. In the beginning of the movie, he came out and did a little spiel. Thanks for coming to see the movie. And I appreciated that. I felt welcomed. I was like, yeah.
Instead of doing a midnight showing, they had 2, pre-premiere showings, the day before, which was Wednesday. And I thought, hey, I know it doesn't say that we can go there, but it says we can go there. The movie officially opened today, but let's just go early. Why not? And it worked out. The 3D is good. It's not the best 3D I've ever seen, but it's good. And I felt that the movie is worth watching. If you're looking for an action flick with 3D in it, your other option would be Olympus Has Fallen, which was also a great film.
Check out my review on that on the side.
Just went live today. And then, if you're looking for something else,
Shameless plug.
I would probably, go watch G.I. Joe. It was a good film. It was much better than the first one.
It's a good. It was a good way to start the summer. It's a good popcorn action flick to kick off the summer blockbuster season. It opened $2.2 million last night, so that's pretty incredible for a Wednesday night showing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they're gonna make their money back for this one, and we might get a third one, which would be awesome.
It's got to have The Rock.
Dude, it's gotta have a lot. It's gotta have a lot of things. Like I love the Storm Shadow. I want more Storm Shadow, more Snake Eyes, more Lady J.
And if they can bring back, just for a mention, Ripcord, Slaughter, Scarlet, just to be like, oh hey, by the way, these people are around. That would be cool. They don't have to bring them, front and center. Just let us know that they still exist, because they didn't really explain what happened to the pit.
Yeah, that was one of the flaws in the movie was they just jumped right into the second one. They said, "Oh yeah, after this happened, after the craziness of this first movie happened, we brought it back down to the real level."
Yeah, the first movie was a little cartoony, and this movie is not. I mean, some of the action's absurd at times, but it's a big budget popcorn film, so what do you expect?
And it's G.I. Joe. Come on.
They had the vehicles, they had the awesome guns, it had a sense of humor to it. It took itself serious, but at times it was never, I'd say, daunting, because the bad guys were bad guys. They were evil, I mean, Cobra Commander, evil. Zartan, evil. And
Firefly.
Firefly
Was hardcore.
And it even tackles what's the name of the ninja clan?
The Rashikage.
It tackles the Rashikage.
It got to a lot of G.I. Joe lore. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, you're excited because it got into some lore. There were some downsides. The RZA was a downside. The RZA as the soft master didn't work.
I mean, if he wants to make his own kung fu movie, Man with the Iron Fist, that's fine, but he doesn't really work in this film. I know he's getting up there in the years, but
he's not a ninja. Ninja and kung fu, that's another rant for another day. Bringing it back down.
And then also DJ Corona, whatever, as Flynn. He did an okay job, but really it was a flat character, whereas all the other characters, you gave a crap about them. You gave a crap about Roadblock, you cared about Duke, you cared a little bit about, General Joe Colton.
You even cared about Jinx a little bit because the Rashikage. But Flint was a little one-dimensional. Maybe they have deleted footage, though, which fleshes him out a little bit. And maybe if we get a third one, it'll be more of a Flint-oriented movie. He is the second in command of the Joes in the comic books, so I would love to see more into that.
Who knows? Maybe Dennis Quaid will come out of retirement or whatever. I don't know. Or stop making Vegas and be in the third one for a minute. Although, to be honest with you, I prefer having General Joe Colton be the man. He is the man.
I think you're right. I would love to see a nod to Dennis Quaid. He played Hawk, and that's cool. But I would love Bruce Willis played Joe Colton to the core, and he was just like, "Yo, what's up?" The whole scene with the house was hilarious. Just when they're walking through his house and just guns everywhere. It was that was one of my favorite scenes.
One of the things that stuck with me the most, because in case you haven't watched any trailer ever, this is going to be a spoiler. But the Joes get wiped out, and there's one part where they're taking the tags off, and they don't really go through and do them all in front of you. But Roadblock has a bag, and he's got it in front of Colton, and he says, "This is why we're here," or why we're here, and he just dumps the bag out, and it's like 30, 50 dog tags. I'm like, oh man, that's hard. That's hardcore, because the Joes are like the ultimate military, soldiers, and so it's sticking with that. Hey, this is a military program, and it's United States military, not just we're a world peacekeeping freedom force. They're not SHIELD. They're the Joes, real American heroes. So they kept with that. It was a good film. Go see it if you want a big budget action film. The Rock is unstoppable, and the vehicles are kind of cool. They're old school, but they're cool. What was I gotta ruin this one though. Little spoiler alert: they brought back the Hiss tank.
Yeah, they brought the Hiss tank, which was awesome. When they nodded, I was like, "Oh, the Hiss tank, G.I. Joe, you make me happy."
Basically, the movie was a combination of video game styles with, here's the driving scene, here's the escort mission, here's the hand-to-hand combat,
here's the stealth mission, here's the ninja mission. It flowed, and I give John Chu his credit, man. I doubted him because I heard Step Up, and it's like, oh, this guy's gonna destroy G.I. Joe before he survived Stephen Summers, and just
those movies that he made, those Step Up 2 and Step Up 3, were competent films. It's just that they're dance movies. And then he made League of Extraordinary Dancers, which is a dance movie, which has the dude from Glee, his name escapes me, but they're competent films. The one was a competent web series, LXD. It's on Netflix. He makes,
and it's on Hulu, right? LXD's on Hulu too.
I think it probably is by now. It's not that he's a bad director or anything. It's just not something most people would associate with a big budget action film. The studio even thinks this movie is going to bomb horribly. If it does, we're not going to get any more for 10, 15 years, maybe 20.
But if it does do well, ho ho ho, guess who's coming back?
2015, Revenge of Cobra. Who knows?
I wouldn't name it the Revenge of Cobra.
Well, they always stick with some stupid name. The first one was Rise of Cobra. The second one was just Retaliation. What's the third one going to be? Retribution? Or wait, no. How about Apocalypse? Called Apocalypse.
And with that, we're ending this.
Awakening.
And with that, Nate and I are done now because that's just craziness.
I'm gonna pull the trigger, man. If you call it one of the horrible top names that they gave the Resident Evil movies.
Here, I'll just finish it for you. He's Nate. I'm Marquise. We're part of the TimeRust Brain Trust. Check us out on TimeRust.com. YouTube.com/TimeRust. Check out the podcast. That's it.
And Facebook.com/TimeRust. Go to our Facebook page, like us, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube.
Comment on our pages. Buy more comics. We're out. Deuces.